I'm Chris Mills, surfstrengthcoach.com. You've got to excuse me if I don't look like my usual dapper self today. I don't feel good. I got a fever, not feeling well, but my dedication, I'm going to show you guys how to make your own homemade sauerkraut, a natural probiotic. Probiotics, really essential for kind of just staying healthy. The health of your digestive system, your gut, heavily influences your overall health and well-being. If your gut's out of whack, everything else is going to be systemically influenced because you're not breaking down foods. You've got overgrowths of bacteria and parasites and fungus and dysbiosis, so it just gets gnarly. Eating some homemade sauerkraut, or if you're taking a probiotic supplement, I think this is easier and cheaper. Helps to re-inoculate the digestive tract with healthy probiotics and healthy gut flora. All that lactobacillus, acidophilus, blah, 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 blah. So you need a knife, cabbage, I've got a green and a purple, a bucket, a canning or pickling jar, some salt, Himalayan Celtic sea salt, whey. This is how you get all the growth started. There's already naturally some bacteria present on the cabbage. And then this helps kickstart the culture of growth. Whey, how do you get whey? Bath milk or raw milk. You're not supposed to drink it, but buy some raw milk, buy some bath milk, keep it in your fridge. When it starts to get a little sour, pour it into a bucket on your countertop. Let it sit for like 2 to 4 days. Cover it with some cheesecloth or something so flies don't get in it. It'll curdle and it'll separate into curds and whey. Could take 2 to 4 days, depending, even 5, depending on heat and temperature and humidity. And then with the cheesecloth, you can strain out the curds. You can make a cheese or something with it if you want. And you've got the liquid left, which is whey. Stuff is, it's money. It's cheap. You're buying the milk. It's easy to make fermented foods. They're really healthy for you. Boom, do it. I read something that, you know, again, all the probiotics, the healthy gut flora that help to break down food, help the immune system, help with certain vitamin production. That's why people take probiotics and these Activia yogurt. Are you kidding me? This shit is garbage. It's flavored yogurt with sugar or artificial sweeteners, and it's got a commercial on TV. If a food has a commercial, it's probably not fucking good for you. So, probiotics, I got on a rant. They're good for you. It's easy to make. So, you start cutting up the cabbage. Again, I got purple and green. Thin little slices. Anything else important to say? Nah. I'm going to start chopping. I'll get you into the next step. I'm back, knife in hand. I remembered what I was going to say before I went on my Activia rant. Cut the cores out of your cabbage, and then that's not what I was going to say, but cut the cores out. Don't chop the cores up and get it in there. You just want the leaves. I'll pull off the couple outer leaves, cut the core. Usually a whole batch of sauerkraut, I'll do like half a head of cabbage. So what I was going to say, in the gut, I've read some statistics that there's essentially 10 times more bacteria cells in our body than there are actually human cells. I find that pretty astounding, that essentially the human body is made up of more bacteria than human structural cells. Kind of groovy, bro. So, bucket of chopped up cabbage. You're gonna add about a tablespoon of salt, Celtic sea salt. Use good salt. Don't really want to use crappy table salt. It's not really that great for you anyways. So about a tablespoon, you can measure it out. I'm just kind of gaming it here. And then, if you've got a wooden mallet, or you essentially need to start breaking up this cabbage a little. We want it to start releasing water, so the salt's going to help draw water out of it. So I just kind of fist pump it, dude. Fist pump it. Spend a couple minutes doing this. Flip it around, and again, like if you got a meat pallet or meat pounder, it's pretty beneficial. I have read that you're really not supposed to use metal, something about some contamination. I don't know the science behind it. You can Google it. Maybe if I write a post on this, you get it sorted. So you start pounding it, really break the stuff down, spend 2 to 5 minutes really kind of breaking it up, and then you're going to sit here and you're just going to let it sit for about 45 minutes to really start drawing liquid out. So I'm going to get to cabbage pounding and check back in with you in a minute. So I've been pounding sauerkraut, almost sauerkraut, not quite, pounded cabbage. Like I said, about a tablespoon of salt, If you just Google how to make sauerkraut, there's all sorts of variations. I just kind of whip it together. I've been making it off and on for a while. So as it's kind of sitting here doing its sauerkraut thing, I'll put in about a tablespoon of whey. Roughly a tablespoon. Maybe a little more. So, again, just let it keep sitting there, do its thing. When I put it into the jar, I'll probably put in another tablespoon. This is beet kvass. This is another fermented food. Again, just fermenting your own foods. Fermented foods have been around in cultures for as long as cultural food traditions have been around. And so as science has been catching up and looking at cultural food traditions, it's very often showing that there's some very health benefit scientific reasoning behind these cultural food traditions. Beet kvass, I don't know where it originated, but again, it's long-term traditional fermented beets essentially. And it's fermented food, probiotics. Boom, doing it. So give that a go, let it sit still another 30-40 minutes, and then I'll fill you in on the canning process. Hold on to your socks, bro. It's been doing its leaking out water thing. I'm making some tea. Again, I don't feel good, man. Having some tea, gotta chill, probably watch a movie. Didn't really tell you why you should take probiotics. Oh, I did, but many people have really offset intestinal tracts and digestive systems from eating terrible foods, way too much coffee, antibiotics. Well, at times we need to take them because we got heavy viral infections or something, bacterial infections. But antibiotics wipe out everything. So if you have had a few heavy bouts of antibiotics, you definitely need to look into re-inoculating your gut using some probiotics. Work with a health practitioner. Too many NSAIDs, steroidal anti-inflammatories, non-steroidal, offsets the balance. Too many crappy sugar-laden carbohydrates, flour, white flours, nasty one. Soda pops. Am I Canadian? No, American, man. Cokes. We just call everything Coke. Soda pops. So yeah. So I'm going to start putting it in this jar. Clean jar. Hot water. Rinse it out. Just want a clean vessel so there's not offset bacteria growing in there. So you just fill it up. Mash it down real good once it gets all tall or full. Really pack it down. Another tablespoon of the whey. And then you want this all to be underwater. So there's not going to be enough water just from the cabbage. So you want to use some clean water. If you've got filtered, use filtered water. Boiling some water would be the next best idea, but don't pour it in there while it's hot and boiling. Let it cool off. If you got to, use some tap water. Tap water is pretty gnarly. So you'll put some water in there just to where it's barely covering the top. And you just let it sit out on the counter for, I think, about a week. 4 to 7 days. I usually let it go about a full week and then put it in the fridge, and it's good. It'll sit in the fridge and stay well for like 6 months kind of thing. It might grow a little bit of like filmy mold on the top. That's fine. It's growing bacteria. Not to say that you need to eat that mold. You can scrape that top layer off. That essentially means there's growth of healthy probiotic bacteria in there. So again, don't hate on me because I said I'm American, not Canadian. I love Canadians, dude. Get some maple leaf tattoos. But yeah, probiotics, they're great. It's easy. This is an easy thing to incorporate into your life. Just trying to, improve your overall health. You gotta move, you gotta think right, think positive. You gotta exercise, you gotta do things that make you happy, and you gotta eat well. And so it's just small changes in your life to start making big impacts. Making your own sauerkraut is one of them. It's simple. Took me like, 20 minutes. So, SurfStrengthCoach.com. Lots of nutritional stuff on there. Bang out some sauerkraut. I'm going to go sit down and chill. I don't feel good. Peace.